That's number two. Number three, pray for a personal Pentecost. What does that mean? It means seeking healing and deliverance from all your emotional and relational deficits. Stay with me now. Of course, I don't know Grace and Glory, but every church that I've gone to, there are those who are distant. They cannot connect because of some past situation, or because they don't like somebody, or because of what somebody said, and that has been boiling. Of course, when I came into the Seventh-day Adventist, I knew as a young Seventh-day Adventist that there were leaders who were the church. I knew them, and it was frightening that they served so wonderfully, but yet they were not even speaking to each other. I'm telling you, man, it's real. A personal Pentecost, which means, of course, seeking healing and deliverance of all your emotional and relational deficits, so that you can come in harmony with the Spirit. I told this story before, but one of the most challenging time in my life was because I was a very, happy fellow and always doing nice stuff to make people laugh. Well, I did I really troubled a young lady and maybe said something. And from that time, she withheld her speech from me. She was no longer talking with me. And I wrestled with that stuff. I went to church on Sabbath. I was feeling uncomfortable. Man, and one day I couldn't take it anymore. I spent time wrestling at home with prayer. I says, God, this thing is, I don't feel connected. I feel a sense of discomfort in my own self. And when I'm reading the Bible, somehow this relationship was all over me, because this was a good friend that I said something, of course, that did not go well with her. And I pray to God, man. I says, God, I can't live like this anymore. And I know you don't want me to live like this anymore. But do you know, one Sabbath morning, man, God arranged that appointment. Listen to me, man. Listen, man. I always remember this. God arranged an appointment. My house was that way, so when I come to the church, I had to come through the main gate of the church, where there are others who live on the other side, and there was a side gate. And I tell you, one Sabbath morning, I showed up in church. And as I stepped into the church, stepped in front of the church, in order to go to the restrooms, of course, you have to pass at the side of the church to go down. Those who coming from that side had to come to the front of the church. And when I stepped into the church, who was coming on the other side? Lord have mercy. The same young lady. My head got so big and I began to tremble in my boots, man. And we were going to pass each other. But somehow, because I prayed, God lifted his right hand and I grabbed her. She could have resisted and maybe not want that relationship. But I tell you, that day, we hugged each other. Man, and I've never felt so light in my life. We hugged each other and talked. Now, she is one of my best friends. From an emotional deficit that was crushing me. The Lord lifted me from that situation, lifted her. And now we are best friends, body friends. Be determined, man, for a personal Pentecost. And by the way, if this pastor does something that rubs you the wrong way, or says something, or did not act pastorally, or whatever, don't come again in church smiling and say, Pastor, it's okay. No! Talk to me. I want to hear from you. Tell me. Because the truth is, I have only been a minister for 37 or 38 years, but I've been a sinner all my life. All my life I've been a sinner. In fact, I was born that way. So I'm prone to mistakes. I'm prone to missteps. So I invite you to erase that space and say, Pastor, this is it. Because I'm no longer afraid of that. Because I want to be delivered from my emotional deficits or anything that impacts negatively our relationship one with the other.